psychologist specialising in consumer behaviour. Thanks for being with us. So what's your stance then? Has M&S got it right?
I don't think they do. I'm quite worried that they actually have not considered some of the very positive effects on the consumer behaviour, such as emotional engagement, certain ease of shopping, faster shopping, but yet feeling like you actually spend more time, less time than you actually feel that you've spent. And you know, the question is whether it works for the brand. We do have to admit that Marks & Spencer is a fairly confused brand, and every customer will tell you that.
Yeah. But I mean, what happens if the customers have told you that they don't like the music, as it seems some of them have, to M&S? I mean, do they still react positively in terms of shopping habits and staying longer if M&S wants them to stay longer, even if they outwardly say they find the music annoying?
That's a fundamental problem between asking customers and understanding what actually influences them on a subconscious level and how you want to influence them. The good background music is the one that you actually do not notice consciously in any way, yet it affects you subconsciously. We do have to bear in mind that our mind processes 11 million bits of information per second on a subconscious level, and is barely 40 bits on a conscious level.
Don't mind us. You know, I never notice the music when I go to the stores. That's the point, isn't it?
Because I think that in the good stores, you don't notice it, but I have also been quite annoyed in some stores by music that's too loud, or if it's music that you don't like. So maybe it is...
Abercrombie & Fitch, great example, right?
Too dark. You can't see anything.
But it worked for the brand at a certain time. So it was consistent with the brand. And that's where the issue is. If you choose something that is not consistent with your brand, and the message that you're trying to put across, and the brand experience that you're trying to create for your customers, it's not going to work. And that's why it did not work in Marks & Spencer's.
Well, you were talking, Sophie, weren't you, before we started the interview, about other tricks of the trade, other techniques that are employed.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the supermarket sort of mentality, you know, where they put certain things in different places because most people turn a certain way when you enter a store. There's so much conjuring tricks, aren't there?
There is plenty. The question is whether the brand is doing it to trick you or whether it's doing it to actually enhance your experience. And we do have to look at the current consumer behavior trends where the experience is the first initial thing that we're looking for, the most important ones. And the brands that are doing it well, they do actually invest in all of those things. And you do have to bear in mind then whether you're doing it for an enjoyment of your customer and you know that it will mean commercial benefits eventually, or whether you're doing it simply to make them spend £5 more, which they will realise and they will actually not come back to you.
So like putting milk at the back of the supermarket so it takes you half an hour to get to it is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Another issue that M&S mentioned was its staff. I mean, I went to, how often I go shopping. I went into the store at Christmas, and I remember one of the assistants said to me, if I hear blooming Noddy Holder one more time, I'm sure Noddy's very keen on it because he makes a lot of money out of the royalties. If I hear him one more time, I'm going to go and lock myself in a darkened room. But, I mean, you don't care about the staff, presumably. That is the point.
That's actually a very big issue. Generally, when we're looking at any strategic movements within retail, a lot of the time staff is not considered. So even within the design of the store or the spaces, we're not considering how the staff needs to move around, how they need to enjoy the space, how it's going to actually affect the quality of the customer service that they're providing. Because at the end of the day, if it affects a customer in 5 minutes, of course it's going to affect for the 8 hours the staff. And those are the things that we do need to consider, along with the aspect of whether we want a long-term customer value or whether we want a short-term increase in spend.
So what music should M&S be pumping out of its radios then?
Generally, a lot of studies show that unfamiliar music is much better, and it does actually increase strongly the time physically spent in store, but it decreases the perception of the time that the customer actually spends. Slow tempo and less complex music, something that is very easily listening. You also have to look at the product type and the price range that you're selling. Music has been proven to affect price perception. So, for example, classical and jazz music makes us think straight away of more sophisticated and expensive products, and we do actually spend more per product as opposed to buying more products. So there's a lot of tricks, as you call them, but it's just a question of what strategically works for you, your brand, and your customer profile. It's not a simple decision.
Kate, what an insight. Thank you very much indeed, Kate.
Thank you very much.
Good to
Thank
see
you.
you.